The Tortola Ladies Club is appealing to companies and individuals to help pay the monthly rent of $800 for the Family Support Network for the rest of this year. Family Support Network is a non-profit, non-governmental organization whose primary aim is to help individuals, couples, and families affected by domestic violence. The FSN receives donations from time to time, but because the demand for FSN services is rising at such a fast rate, the demand for funding continues to increase.
This year alone, from January to April, the amount of people that have come into FSN for services is almost as much as the whole year of last year. And last year, our new clients were double that of the year before. Okay? New clients this year are almost as much as the new clients last year. So everyone who has anything to do with domestic violence is being referred to FSN. And the walk-ins, the people who are calling, asking questions, are also doubling. Men are becoming aware of domestic violence. We've always known that there was a portion of victims who were men, but they never reported. They didn't come certainly to FSN for anything. Now they're coming, right? So we're counseling men, we're offering them services. Some men have even come for protection orders. Another thing that's, for instance, coming into FSN right now, a lot of young people who think that the life is just too much for them right now and the best way for them to deal with it is to just kill themselves. So you have kids doing all kinds of things to themselves, talking all kinds of scary things, cutting themselves, doing all kinds of things, and they're being brought into Dr. Simmons for counseling. A lot of time is spent using human resources, and not all of those human resources can be free realistically. In the BVI, you have to have a master's degree in counseling to counsel. So you don't get those for free very often. I wish we could, but realistically, come on, who's going to spend 8 hours with a master's degree working for free, unless they're a retiree, and we haven't found one of those yet. If our numbers are increasing the way they are, we are going to have to hire another counselor. And if there's a master's degree counselor out there who wants to come volunteer at FSN, we want to hear you. Otherwise, we have to pay that person.
The workload for FSN increases year after year. In 2013, the FSN had 99 cases, and in 2014, FSN spent $110,000 for services, which included feeding 283 families through their pantry of donated food and providing 410 counseling sessions for women, men, couples, and children. Between January to April this year, the FSN already served 207 families, 187 women, and 20 men with 56 new cases and 256 counseling sessions. There was a total of 553 office visits, 427 females, 99 males, and 27 children between January and April this year.
While most people think what we do is good, they don't understand the magnitude of it. Domestic violence is not a simple situation. It's not I hit you, you go to jail, I go to jail, or and I get some help. It's not an overnight process. It takes a while. It's like getting fat. You don't get fat overnight, and you don't lose weight overnight. It's the same thing with the domestic violence situation. So it takes a while for this process to correct itself if it's going to at all get corrected. And a lot of the infrastructure that helps to create that fix costs money. We don't get a lot of stuff for free. I think it's very important for the people of the Virgin Islands to understand what is happening in their community is very, very real. It's very personal to a lot of people. To discount it, to say that it's not really happening or that it's not happening in the amounts we're saying, I think is disrespectful and insulting to the people who it's really happening to. So please, call if you have questions. Ask anybody you see on the street who is associated with FSN, and visit the office on Charlwell Street and see for yourself.
FSN expects to spend about $40,000 more this year than last year, budgeting some $150,000. FSN receives a government grant of $40,000, but this does not cover the cost and services for the organization. In order to help keep the doors of FSN open, the Tortola Ladies Club have lent their support to facilitate the payment of the monthly rent from corporate donors and individual sponsors. There have been 6 generous donors to date: Roger Harris, the lone individual sponsor, and corporate sponsors Appleby Global, Nagico Insurances, Rollinson and Hunter, Sables Law, and Tovel Investments.
But people think FSN is costing too much. Why? Because we're spending our money on people, okay? Not just the people we hire, but the people who come through the door, right? If you need housing in the BVI as a domestic, for the domestic dispute, there is not at the moment a shelter. So we shelter people for up to 3 days sometimes. And in the cases of some of the people we've sheltered in the past year who were pregnant and all kinds of things, we've sheltered people for up to 3 months. Right now, we are sheltering a lady who lived in her car for 5 months. Rotary called me the other day and gave me $1,000 towards that lady's sheltering. People are trying to help her get her car fixed. Her children are farmed out to family members. You know, these are things that are real and that are happening in our community. And the fix for some of those, or even the process that people like that have to go through to get back, to heal, to get back on their feet, that's not free. We have to pay for those sheltering rooms, okay? So this is why FSN costs what it costs. Everybody hears about the food. And a lot of people are on overkill as far as they're concerned, where we always collecting this food. But we pay rent every month, and everyone now knows it costs $800 a month for our rent. So somebody at Tortola Ladies Club came up with this idea to see if maybe they could get various businesses to help pay our rent. So far, up to yesterday, we had 7 months rent. I think that's fantastic.
Last year, the court asked FSN to run anger management programs for women and men. FSN is also involved with 53 protection orders at the request of the High Court. Also in 2014, the FSN had 37 applications for temporary housing, and with the assistance of Rotarians and Rotary, the FSN was able to house 7 women with children. The women were referred to the FSN by the police. Judith said companies that wish to help contribute to FSN rent funds can contact Sarah at the Tortola Ladies Club. The numbers are on your screen. The club meets every 3rd Wednesday at Fort Worth Hotel.